Vegas Ventura here, coming to you from Fort Myers, Florida. Basically, I'm in North Fort Myers right now. I'm on the Tamiami Trail, or Highway 41 as they call it. One of the major highways here in Florida. This one, the Tamiami Trail, is the secondary name, which stands for Tampa to Miami Trail. Was the main way to get between Tampa and Miami before they had an Interstate 75. Just a little piece of history for you. I am heading to do some errands and decided I would do a video and show a little bit of the Florida scenery here. We'll get across the Caloosahatchee River here in just a second. And today's topic is going to be the things that I love and hate about Florida. And I'm going to show a little bit of social distancing. I'm going to go downtown here and show probably how dead it is. And the roads are pretty dead as well for this time of year. Yeah, so I came up with 7 things that I hate and 7 things that I love. And ironically, some of the things that I hate are tied to the things that I love, and they're kind of the yin-yang of the love and hate of each other. So, and there may be some pauses here as I'm driving, and I want to make sure that I'm being safe. So, I gotta bring my list. So I'm going to start off with, so I can end on a good note, I'm going to start off with the things that I hate first. These are no in particular order, so there's not one thing it's not like I'm going to start with, start with the first and go through the 7th, no particular order. So one thing that I hate here, and don't like, I guess, sometimes it's not hate, it's just dislike, is the choices of grocery stores compared to being back west, particularly in Vegas. Vegas is next to Cali, which is like the breadbasket of America in a sense. Huge percentage of America's food comes out of California. I mean, depending on what the categories are, sometimes it's just astronomical, like nuts, for example, almonds, for example. Almonds, like 80% of the world's almonds come from California. So this is the Caloosahatchee River here that we're about to cross, which is the dividing between North Fort Myers and Cape Coral. I live in Cape Coral, but I had to drive through North Fort Myers, which is like right on the cusp, to get to Fort Myers. And this is one of the main causeways to get over. But yeah, the grocery store choices are kind of lame here. I don't really like most of them, and the food is expensive, especially produce. And I eat lots of fresh produce because I don't eat canned vegetables, and I generally don't even like frozen ones, but I will eat them. So I find the choices more limited and much more expensive, which you would think being in the South. But I'm guessing because probably distribution cost. Florida is a big peninsula, and there's really only one way in and out unless you're coming across water. And I doubt a lot of the produce is coming. I don't know that, but I doubt it's coming from the water primarily, unless it's coming from out of the country. But yeah, so produce choices, food choices, they're just not as good, I don't think, and they're definitely not as cheap. So I'm gonna go here downtown, downtown Fort Myers. Come to like it a lot. It's kind of one of the only lively areas in the Fort Myers area. Other than that, everything's kind of dispersed and scattered. Lots of restaurants you gotta kind of go and drive to, which kind of sucks if you want to drink, because then you can't get between places like catching a bunch of Ubers. So this place is the only place I found that's really concentrated, that you can hang out and have. There's a lot of people, kind of a lot going on, lots of art festivals, and they have a monthly art festival, but they have a lot of different festivals almost every week. There's something going on down here during the winter. So there's Cape Coral downtown, but it's not my vibe really. So excuse me. Let's go this way to the main stretch. This is the main stretch, isn't it? Okay, it's first. I see this guy, but he's always down here. Must be homeless. Or lives down here. like it's closed. Yep, it is. It's usually bustling. That little Starbucks is usually bustling all day long. This is the main stretch right here, really, the main street. There's really only about, like where all the action's at down here, I would say there's really only about maybe 9 blocks of action, 9 to maybe 12 at most. It's this street, 1st Street, 2nd Street, I believe. Yeah, 2nd Street. And then, I forget what the street to my left is. Bayview or something. I can't remember, I can't see it either. I thought about living down here in these buildings to the right. This building to the right, I'll try to pan. Now, this mountain is really kind of hard. As you can see, there's almost no one down here. Usually this would just be people everywhere walking around. But yeah, I was trying to buy an apartment recently, and I thought about buying one down here, but it was a little higher than my price point, about 30 grand, and it was a lot smaller. But it would have been awesome because it literally was like right upstairs on the main strip here, and that would have been awesome to have. And I thought also, though, it might not be a great thing because I probably would spend a lot of my money daily being at bars and restaurants, so it probably worked out better. So yep, like everywhere, everything's dead. An eerie sight, sad sight to see. Reminder of the weird apocalyptic feeling world that we're in right now. So let me move on to the next thing that I don't like. That would be mold. Things are moldy down here. Get moldy easy. You gotta watch humidity levels in your house. You always gotta leave the AC on. If you're gonna leave for an extended period of time, or you will have mold growth in your house. And it gets in everything and it stinks, and you know, everyone knows mold. There's nothing, you know, don't really describe that. But yeah, mold is a second. Okay, so the main street isn't, the other one is down there, so it's not 2nd Street, it's the main street. I'm gonna go back this way to find out. But yeah, mold, I just don't like mold. Who likes mold? Things get moldy. That's enough to be said about that. The next one will be kind of related to mold. I mean, it's the conditions in which mold exists, and that's the third thing I don't like about Florida is the humidity, and I'll add to that summer, because they are so humid and hot. Being from Vegas, I'm used to the heat, of course. I mean, the heat is much higher. The index here usually in the summer it's going to be between, roughly, daytime highs are going to be 90 to 100 degrees every day, whereas Vegas, June, July, August, half of, not all of September are going to be 105 to 115 almost every day. So I am used to the temperatures, but with the humidity index, it just makes it so much more miserable in my opinion. I mean, I'll take 115 in Vegas over 85 in the summer humidity. Like right now it's been pretty dry. We haven't had a lot of rain, and all right, I'm trying to get hit. We haven't had a lot of rain. We had a rain the other day. It was the first one, I'm gonna say, in like 6 weeks that I can remember, and that's even for last winter. We probably had rains. It seemed to rain a lot last winter, because I was surprised. It was my first winter here, and everyone was always talking about how the winters are how it's so beautiful down here. And in the days that it was nice, it was beautiful, but then it was like every second or third day it would be overcast and rainy. But this year it's been the opposite. There's been almost no rain, and which is nice. I like it. It's dry, and it's been up to the 90s already, and it's not been unbearable. But once that humidity comes, once those torrential rains come that happen all the time, it's like adding water to the rocks in a sauna, and it's just pure misery. You can literally walk outside, and it's hard, you know, especially during like after 10 o'clock in the morning to like till dark. You walk out and within 5 minutes, for me, it's about my tolerance. After like 5 minutes, I'm so freaking miserable by that point. My shirt's already, I'm already drenched. Head is already drenched. Shirt is already starting to puddle. Shirt is sticking to you. It's just absolute misery if anyone's ever dealt with humidity. And so I try to stay out of here as much as I can, just because I have that option. Well, often it's for work, but then when I have my time off, I usually go back to Vegas. I'll deal with that. I mean, again, 115, don't get me wrong, it's brutal. It is brutal, but at least you dry off. Down there, I mean, you can, if you get out of the sun, your t-shirt will be dry in 10 minutes in Vegas. Here, you can get a wet towel and hang it somewhere and it will still be wet a day and a half later. So, I don't like the culture, because this is making me realize that's was another one I had, was I don't like the culture in Southwest Florida as much. It's kind of like almost no culture and a clash of cultures, and it's kind of hollow at times, and you're trying to figure out what it is. And I don't like the fact that people kind of segregate themselves here. That's in Southwest Florida. Tampa, I like Tampa. Still trying to identify the culture there, but there's some things about Tampa I like a lot. I like Tampa a lot, the city. And I love Miami. I love the culture of Miami. If I could live anywhere, I would love to live in that area. Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I love it there. But the culture of Southwest Florida, it has more to be desired, in my opinion. I'm a West Coast boy, though. And overall, I just like the whole culture of the West more than the East. I'm not trying to make this an East-West thing. I mean, there's things I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Miami. Here is the rains in the summertime, which are more or less, let me see, there you go, sun pass, yes, sun pass. Sorry folks, just need to pay attention. I've only been out like 2 or 3 times, so, but are the rains, torrential downpours, and unlike places like most other places I've been to. So we're coming up to crossing the bridge to get to Sanibel Island. And as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to turn this a little more that way. You can see a little more of the water. I'll try to get closer over here. There's a bunch of little barrier islands out here as well. But yeah, so most places, you see the gray clouds roll in, you realize you got some time, you pack up and start doing what you need to do because it starts getting darker and darker. Nice Aston Martin there. And then it starts to, like, more or less sprinkle, and you usually have, like, you know, 5-10 minutes, and then it will start getting heavier and heavier. No, not in Florida. Florida, it goes from, oh, you see it's kind of gray, and you're like, okay, because once you start learning, you're like, I got a couple minutes. Sometimes you don't have a couple minutes. Sometimes they will roll in so quick. They go straight from dry to cats and dogs within like 30 seconds. It's terrible. I had a convertible I was renting one time, and I was trying to get the top up because I saw I was about to run. Literally, sometimes you'll see a dividing line. Like, it will be like, so everything's, I'm gonna stop real quick. Everything's closed off here because of social distancing. They closed everything off, so usually you can pull over here and get out and look at the water. You can't even do that. So I am gonna stop right here real quick to get a little view. Turn the camera a little bit. Let's see. My little mount is unsticking here. Doing the heat too long. Get some Gorilla Glue or something. So there, that's what we're looking at here. Okay. But yeah, it just will just start downpouring so hard, and it's hard to see if you're on the road. Like, it will be like deafening as it's hitting your car sometimes, and sometimes you can't see more than what feels like 10 feet in front of you, and it's dangerous. Like, really, you sometimes need to just pull over. That's what I'd recommend. And It's crazy. And also about that is that what comes with that is it rains like 2 to 3 times almost every day in the summer. I mean, no joke, almost every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. Usually one time around midday, sometimes in the morning, but sometimes usually somewhere between 10 and 1, and then again in the afternoon. And if it has 3-time rain, it really can be anywhere. Sometimes it'll be the morning, noon, and afternoon, evening, or whatever. It's just, it's ridiculous. And it's really hard to plan a lot of stuff in the summertime because it's gonna rain. And you don't wanna be out in the water because that will be dangerous. I mean, I don't boat or anything, but I know it's the worst place to be. And there's a lot of lightning strikes here. It's like Colorado. I know every year when I was growing up, it was always Florida and Colorado competing for lightning strike deaths. So you don't want to play around with being caught in the rain in bad places like the water. Yeah, so I guess enough about that. So I think I'm technically on Sanibel Island now. It's kind of like the causeway that goes there. This is usually just packed with people everywhere. It's called the Causeway Islands. Yeah, usually there are people just all over, usually people over here picnicking, doing different water sports, hanging out, fishing, whatever. So this is the little jewel of Fort Myers, Sanibel Island. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. Some nice beaches out here, like Captiva Island, which is a separate island. It's to the right. And then there's another one, I forget what the other island is out there, but the other island you can't drive to. Captiva you can drive to. There's another one beyond it that you gotta take a boat to. There's lots of little islands out here. They're all barrier islands, which kind of help protect the main coast from storm surge and hurricanes. So the next thing on my list is, well, I think I said it all, is well, 2 more things, and that's horrible drivers. I thought when I moved from Colorado to Vegas, and you quickly realize how horrible drivers are in Vegas. And I've been to, like, I don't know, I think 13 different countries. And the only other place I ever seen worse drivers in the United States than Vegas was outside the United States in foreign countries, and that's Amsterdam. They're pretty bad, I remember, and in Panama City, Panama, they're horrible. But nowhere, and I travel a lot. I've been like 40 different states, lots of them multiple times. So I've seen a lot of this country, and I never found anything worse than Las Vegas. But until I moved to South Florida. South Florida specifically in the winter, because that's when the snowbirds come. And I think the reason Vegas and Florida are similar is the demographics are the same. Lots of tourists, lots of people from everywhere. So you have all these different driving styles. It's like a Wu-Tang style of driving. But in the tourists, they're looky-loos. They don't know where they're going. They're all over the place. We'll take a left here and go to the lighthouse. But they're all over the place. And so, sorry, I got distracted there. Saw the cop. And so tourists, people from everywhere that actually live here or visiting, whatever. So you got different driving styles. They have a high population of New Yorkers, where we have a high population of Californians. I don't particularly identify that New Yorkers are bad drivers compared to like Californians. Californians are kind of, not necessarily bad, they're just like fast drivers, aggressive drivers. They're kind of bad. I mean, they're going overspill into Vegas. And what else? Vice. Vegas has a lot of vice. I don't know so much about that here. Probably a lot of drinkers because they're on vacation. But in Florida, there's a lot of old people, and that swells in the wintertime because they're snowbirds. And so a lot of them aren't as sharp as they used to be. They're not as attentive. I notice a lot of them, they don't turn their head when they like back up. They rely on their mirrors and cameras, like as if that's the only thing you're supposed to do. They don't go back to old school fundamentals of driving. And I can honestly say my first winter here, especially driving up north of Fort Myers, down Tamiami Trail and stuff in that area, I probably almost got into a serious accident every 2 to 3 days. I mean, serious. Like, it would have been, if I wasn't paying attention and had laid on the horn, prevented it, whatever, it would have been a serious accident. And the only reason it was prevented was because of me. And it was almost always, 9 times out of 10, someone who appeared to be probably over the age of 65. And, you know, I think also a lot of them are on pills. I mean, you know, let's just be real. When you get old, you have a lot of pain. And so they're taking pain pills. And, you know, dopey and not paying attention. So, yeah, drivers are terrible here. Absolutely terrible. They do the most heinous things I've ever seen. Just the most heinous stuff that's just like absolutely against driving rules. I mean, I've seen people stop at intersections and back up in the middle of traffic and try to expect everyone to wait for them to back up so they can make the left turn they just missed. Constant slow driving, like way too slow for the speed. Terrible drivers. It's like everyone heads for the left lane too when they get on the freeway. Literally, I literally see them come off of the ramp and go straight for the left lane. It's like they have no concept of the left lane is for passing. They just don't get it. So, okay, I beat that one to death. The last thing I hate in Florida, probably the thing I don't like the most, yeah, it's creepy crawlies. Everything's alive. Everything's alive down here. From the little tiny, almost microscopic little piss ants and no-see-ums, which I've never experienced, but I've heard about them, to, oh, the road's closed. You can't even get to the lighthouse. So, make a U-turn here. So, yeah. Back to the creepy crawlies. So yeah, there's a food chain here, and you're not necessarily at the top of it. And particularly in the summertime, it gets really bad when it starts getting hot. Like, it just seems like everything is alive and everything's crawling, and it's just like, when I leave my apartment, because I'll leave often for a couple months, and I come back, the first thing I got to do is go get the vacuum out, and there's these little, basically daddy long leg type spiders that seem to be everywhere, and they will take over your home no matter what you do. They'll be in every corner of the ceilings and floors, and you got to go around. Pretty much, they're always usually up in the upper part of the ceiling. I mean, in the ceiling where the ceiling and the wall meets. So they're easy to find. You're not going to worry about them being in your sheets or anything. They are always in the same place, but usually in corners or in ceiling corners. But you got to go through with the vacuum and suck them all out, because within a month of not occupying your home, they will come. Ants. I've already, between my first apartment, which I had 2 ant infestations in the 18 months I was there, I noticed in my new apartment, there's these little ants that are almost microscopic. We used to call them piss ants, or little sugar ants or something. But they're even smaller than the sugar ants I've seen. I mean, they're almost, the only reason you can even see them is usually they pile on top of each other. And it looks like almost like I had left a cutting board out that I had cut some fruit on. And they, I guess, like the sugar, and I went to go grab it to wash it a couple hours later, and it looked like a mustache was on the cutting board, and it was ants. So you got to deal with that. Hornet's nest. I had a hornet's nest that would come back every 2 or 3 months in my last apartment, so I'd use mint and soap to kill it. I have one in my garage. I put my fishing pole in my garage about 2 weeks ago. Came out to it, a hornet's nest was growing on top of the fishing pole. It's just crazy. It's like everything is alive out here. Snakes, you got to worry about snakes. I at a shop for work, and this lady was driving toward me, and she's like looking kind of like terrified. She's pointing to the ground and she's lipping something, and I'm like, what is she saying? And it looked like she said snake, and I looked down and I almost walked into it. It was a snake crawling down the parking lot, and I didn't notice it. And usually I look on the ground everywhere I go, because I mean, on the ground anywhere there's vegetation, because it's Florida. Doesn't matter what time of year, you can run into snakes. So I've learned you're best keeping your eyes open. And nope, that was the first snake I've seen yet. But you know, because of creepy crawlies, like I have woods behind me, beautiful looking woods. I'm never gonna go on those things. You gotta be kidding me if you think I'm gonna go crawl through those woods. Everything's alive out here. You know, there's 47 types of snakes, which 6 of them are poisonous. One of them's the most poisonous snake in the United States, which is the irony is the second most poisonous snake is in Las Vegas. So how does this happen to me? But which is the coral snake here, Mojave rattler there. There are all kinds of spiders, black widows, brown recluses, black and brown widows, I should say. There's these spiders. I don't even know they're poisonous. Like the other night, I was going out to take trash to the dumpster, and because I have these woods, I've been seeing these freaking raccoons that are always running around my neighborhood, which they are prone to having rabies. So I take a flashlight with me, and luckily I flash it upwards, which I don't normally do, is because like I felt something in my hair, and I wasn't sure if it was rain or bugs. And I don't know, never found out what it was, but luckily I looked up, and there was these 2 spider webs that had formed probably since the day, because they were attached to cars. And these spiders were sitting there with these intricate webs right in the middle of the spider webs. And I never have thought to look up before. And it's just like, geez, like, man, like creepy crawlies everywhere. It's just too much. It's just too much. So, yeah. So back to Sanibel Island here, or crossing back to the mainland here. Let me turn the camera a little bit again. There's someone boating in a big ass, fat ass boat. Envious. One day maybe. Boats are expensive as hell. They say that the best day of a boater is the day they buy it and the day they sell it. And generally, I deal with boats for my profession, and it's one of the many vehicles I deal with, and that tends to be true. I find. So, yeah. Old sailboat with a dinghy on the back. So yeah, creepy crawlies. So now, and actually I forgot to mention other things about the creepy crawlies I hate is the water creatures too that can mess you up out here. A lot of stuff can mess you up. There's sharks, multiple types of sharks out here. There are fish, which, you know, fish usually don't mess people up, but hey, fish could, you know, theoretically, you know, you can have a fish that could jack you up in the wrong circumstance, like a swordfish or a sailfish. There's stingrays, jellyfish. All those things can hurt you and potentially even kill you under the right circumstances. So, but back to things I love. The ecology out here is fantastic. So part of the creepy crawlies are the ecology, but it also is amazing. It's fascinating. You know, you got gators out here and dolphins and manatee, stuff I still haven't even seen yet. I'm always so busy with other things. Hopefully next year, next winter. This is my last day in Florida, by the way, so I probably won't be back for at least a while. And nevertheless, yeah, the ecology is the bomb. I mean, that's what makes it fascinating out here. There's so many things to see, you know, and different plants, and all the same things that I don't like that are fascinating to me. Trust me, you can still respect them, even though you might not want to encounter them. It's like I saw my first gators about a week apart going through Alligator Alley, and that was a pretty big deal for me, seeing gators finally, you know. And yeah, you don't want to be swimming and run into one, but you know, from a safe distance, they're a fascinating creature, like one of the oldest living creatures on Earth. And as far as evolution goes, and yeah, that makes it a really fascinating place, and it's really like nowhere else in the United States because of that. The next thing that I love about Florida. And actually, I need to get to my love list. Let me get there. Okay. Wawa. The gas station chain Wawa. W-A-W-A. They're only on the East Coast. The first one I ever ran into was out going to DC. They are, if I remember, in New Jersey as well, I believe. So mainly, I think they're probably up and down lots of East Coast. I don't remember seeing them in Georgia, though. Maybe they have them now. I don't remember seeing them in North Carolina either. But Wawas are the bomb. They're like a one-stop shop gas station. If they had one in Vegas, it would go crazy. I don't know why they don't. They should be all over the United States because they're like the best gas station I've ever seen. They have their own food counters that they make great sandwiches and salads. I mean, they have some healthy options in addition to the bad ones. They have like like they make these kind of like bowls, like macaroni bowls and different types of bowls mixed with different things. They make burritos and like Mexican food and stuff, breakfast burritos, quesadillas, shakes and smoothies. They have an espresso, they have a coffee bar, so you can get pretty much any type of coffee you want, espresso and all that. And yeah, I go there a lot when I'm working, almost on the daily, just because you can get your gas and you can get your coffee and get your food, and it's good quality, all of it. Like the coffee is fresh made. They have like 7 different types, constantly brewing. In addition to, that's just your brewed coffee, in addition to all the stuff they can make for you. And they even have like fresh fruits and stuff made. And they have everything from your bad stuff to pretty good stuff for you. So I love Wawa's. It's like my favorite gas station I've ever seen in the country. And it's too bad they don't have them out west. The diversity of people. Alrighty, I am back. Decided to get to some better footage here again. And so, the next thing that I love about Florida is its diversity. The diversity of the people. Basically, you have almost everything here, other than one thing I've noticed that is missing is there's not a lot of Asian people here. Unlike back in Vegas and West, not many at all. It's a weird phenomenon. But other than that, you have every other ethnic group, and you have a huge Latin population here. And the thing is, unlike in Vegas, we have a large Hispanic Latin population as well, about 25%. I would say the vast majority of them are Mexican descent, which is cool. I love all the Mexican restaurants too, but I love all the grocery stores, the Mexican grocery stores we have there. I go to those quite a bit. They're the bomb. We're coming on to Fort Myers Beach right now. And this is kind of like the heart of the action of Fort Myers Beach right here. This little building area you see right here. It's where a lot of people kind of congregate around this area. There's like a bunch of little restaurants and stores and stuff down here. So I don't really come down. I just came to the beach the first time like back in December. First time I've actually been out on the beach. I've driven through here several times, but free dinner parking. Interesting. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna try to turn this a little more that way. Poor guy, he has no legs. Yeah, so, and you have, whereas the Latin culture here tends to be pretty much from everywhere else. Lots of, as you would imagine, a huge Cuban culture, which all the Cubans I've met have been awesome people. Lots of Colombians, lots of Brazilians, lots of islanders. You find a lot of black Latinos here. A lot of them are from islands. So yeah, I really dig it. I love the Latin culture here. That's one thing that's awesome about Miami. Oh, I was gonna try to see if I could get to the beach from here, but it is closed off too, as you can see. I'm gonna turn around the best that I can. Right there, good spot. Too bad, can't get to the beach. So yeah, I just love it. I've been learning and going to lots of Cuban restaurants here, or several anyways I've been to. Just love their food, love their coffee. Yeah, it's really cool, the diversity of people. The next thing I love here is and I haven't partook in this yet, but I have big plans next year. I'm here such a limited time. Like this year was about my time here this year is largely about buying a place. Last year was just trying to get settled, and I was only here for 8 weeks, so I hadn't had a chance. So next year I'm really pushing to get into kayaking, and I'm gonna do some kayak fishing in particular, and just fishing in general. But the fishing here is the bomb. You have both freshwater fish and you have ocean fish, of course, and every type of, or I can't say every type, but you have lots of variety of type of fishing. And the thing that's cool here is that there's just so much water, like on land, as far as the freshwater goes. You could pretty much throw your line into any body of water and you're probably going to catch something. Like I have on my complex, condo complex, there's 3 ponds that we're allowed to fish in, and I'll go out there and look at the ponds, and especially in the evening, there's just stuff hitting all over the top of the water. You can see the fish is jumping up and stuff. It's crazy. Just a little pond. I mean, it's not a big pond at all. It's like probably each pond's about the size of a football field. And yeah, so fishing, this is fisherman's paradise out here. And next year I'm planning on making a big push to get back into fishing. I haven't really fished. I stopped fishing when I was about 20 years old, 21, when I was in Colorado, because fishing in Colorado sucks. And shout out to all my fishing peeps, my Wyfield friends, Charles, Richmond. They used to be my fishing buddies, the Forwards, the whole Forward family pretty much. Used to go fishing with them all the time. My father, rest in peace, those are all my fishing peeps. But fishing in Colorado is poor. And so I gave it up. Once I realized I fished a lot in Colorado just to get to the outdoors and to be in the mountains and stuff. And then once I started picking up snowboarding and mountain biking, I realized, this is a waste of time. I just stopped doing it. So I'm really excited about getting back into fishing because I used to love it. And what else? The next thing that I love, just some people out here rolling around, but not like it normally is. Normally there's a lot of people walking up down. At least that last mile or two usually starts getting sparse down here. But oh, there's the ocean. Let's see if I can get to a parking lot somehow. They're building some condos that look like they're gonna stop now. So the next thing that I don't like, or that I like, I mean, is the winter. So I hate the summer, I love the winters. The winters are awesome down here. I love Vegas winters as well. I'm gonna turn around here. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep going up. There is a little bridge up here, I think. It might be cool to cross. I can't remember. That's where it's at. Maybe not. The Mound House, archaeological and historical site. Huh. I'm gonna keep going for a little bit. So the next thing, yeah, the winters. The winters, Vegas winters are nice. They are nice, I like them, especially being from Colorado. You're almost never really that cold. I mean, it does get a little chilly at night. Sometimes you do have to carry a light jacket there, but overall, it's very tolerable. I would say the winters are a little bit better in Florida because of the humidity, actually, because it's kind of a little warmer ceiling. So even when it's like Well, as long as the temperature is above about 50, then it feels really warm. And then it drops below 50, it feels really cold, like bone-chilling cold, really. It's weird because of the wetness. But the winters are like, as soon as the sun comes up, like every day is just gorgeous. It's just beautiful here. You could wear shorts every day and be comfortable like all day, pretty much. I'm not a short person that way. I only pull them out once it hits like 85. Today's actually the first time I wore shorts since I was in Miami. I'm gonna turn around now. Let's see. But yeah, the winters are to die for. I would say they're just little bit better than Vegas. And yeah, the weather's just perfect. It's great, especially the late winter's kind of nice because then you can start getting on the beach more. It's a little bit chilly in the dead of winter to go. I mean, you can go to the beach, but you don't really want to be in the water. At least not me. I need high temperatures to want to be in the water. But yeah, I mean, it's American paradise down here. Yeah. All right, so the next thing, can you turn left here? No, you can't, can you? No. So the next thing that I love about Florida, this is probably the thing I like the most, is there are so many freaking things to do. I am very fortunate that I get to live between Vegas and Florida, because there are so many, between the two places, they completely complete me. I have like every opportunity to do everything within, you know, Vegas itself just has so many abundant city life things to do. Like pretty much any city life thing you want. Great restaurants, great, you know, all the entertainment. You know, it's considered the entertainment capital of the world. And then there's, you know, we have some pretty good museums, and then we have some outdoor spaces, some great outdoor spaces and stuff. But this video is not about Vegas. But from there, I can even go to California in a couple hours. I mean, there's so much I can do from there. There's lots of national parks and all that. Florida is like the same, but it's like the opposite. You have, you know, out there it's mountains and desert and stuff, and ocean. You get the ocean. Here it's primarily all built around ocean and the Everglades, but then you got lots of great cities, you know, such as Tampa and Miami and Orlando, and those are all within 3 hours of here. 2 hours to Tampa, 2 hours, 2.5 to Miami, and 3 hours to Orlando. So you have abundant city and outdoor life. You know, you can go to the beach. At the beach, you can go surfing. You can go stand-up paddleboarding. You can go jet skiing, boating. You can go. There's all kinds of ecological, outdoorsy things that you can do. Different parks. Go canoeing and kayaking, and yeah, in the city. Same thing. So yeah, it's badass. It's badass. It's badass to be able to do all those things, and I've been slowly getting around. You know, I went to the Keys and went to Miami this year a couple times. Really got to enjoy Miami once. I've been to Miami a couple times, mainly for work. But I did go in my South Beach video, as you can see. Go to a prior video, my South Beach video. And another one I still have to put out. That's from South Beach I haven't put out yet. So, I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to film my last one on the stretch back to Cape Coral. All right, so I'm approaching one of the 4 bridges that cross between Fort Myers into Cape Coral, where I live. And this is the southernmost bridge. I don't know what this one is called. Yeah, I don't know this name of this one. Nevertheless, it's one of the few causeways, which is actually one thing that kind of sucks about Cape Coral and Fort Myers. It's the separation of the river. That in the morning the traffic's really bad, and because there's only 4 ways, and 2 of them really aren't accessible by many of the people in Cape Coral, so it's too far north. So yeah, yep. Anyway, so the last thing that I love about Florida, just gotta be real. The last thing I love about Florida is the women. The women are phenomenal. I am a single man, somewhat recently single, last 2 years, and beautiful women are a dime a dozen here. And the thing I like, and same thing in Vegas, it's kind of the same. The difference is here is the ratio and the age, the vast ages. Here you really, in Vegas, it's become much more of a millennial town, I would say. So that's generally your age group of women that are available, that are single. Whereas here, it's across the board, all ages, because there's a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of ladies here that are actually retired, semi-retired, or even in their 40s already. But there's also a lot of women here who are in the healthcare industry. There's a lot of geriatrics. So, I don't know, I just find that it's actually kind of better for a guy my age, just because of that aspect of it. And also the ratio, I've checked, the ratio in most cities in Florida is anywhere between 92% women, so 92 to 96% for women, to 100% men. So basically, for every 96 women there are, or whatever, 92 women there are 100 men. Wait, I said it the wrong way. Sorry. For every 92 men, there are 100 women. So pretty good odds if you're a guy out here as well. So, and women here, even the older ones, they tend to take care of themselves better than I notice out west. Once they get over 40, they just seem to, a lot of them just exercise and stay fit and slim. So, yeah, that's pretty badass. There's nothing wrong with that. And of various cultures. So right now I'm heading down. I'm going to end this video here in a minute, but I'm going to take you through downtown Cape Coral, and we can see, which is pretty much it here, kind of. I'm going to take you to the core, where you can see that it's probably dead as well. Hit Forward Realty. Usually this restaurant's packed right here. Turn down here, like this bar usually is live. Nevermind bar right here, probably the livest bar down here. I don't really like downtown Cape Coral, it's not my speed. Tends to be a lot in the wintertime when I'm here, tends to be a lot of an older demographics down here, whereas downtown Fort Myers is kind of a mixed demographic. So I would say down here you often see a lot of people above 60. And nothing wrong with people above 60, just not my age group to party and hang with. Or culture, generally. So, as you can see, this is the bars over here. Usually this is pretty freaking packed. And you have nothing around dead. Dead and sad. And so let me reiterate everything. I put them up on the screen. Let me straighten this camera out. So, top 7 things that I don't like about Florida. That was grocery store selection of choices. Produce is expensive and not very good. Mold, don't like the mold here. The humidity, it's too humid and hot and humid in the summers. The torrential downpours in the summers. The creepy crawlies. And did I miss something? I think that was it. Oh, and the culture. As I was saying, the culture, it's kind of lacking, especially in Southwest Florida particularly. Not the whole state though, that's just a region specific thing. And then the things that I love about Florida is the ecology. I love all the things to do. I love the fishing. I love the Wawas. I love, what else did I miss? I'm missing something. The women, as I said just a minute ago. The winters are awesome. And I feel like I forgot something. I think I forgot one. Oh well, I'll put them up on the screen. If you like this video, do me a favor and press like. Please subscribe. This channel's getting off the ground. I have intermittent time to film, so the videos are coming. They're gonna come and go. I should have some coming up soon with me going back to Vegas. And you guys have a great rest of the weekend. I don't know why I'm saying that, because it will probably not be the weekend when I publish this. But anyways, peace.